Hello, this video is kinda continuation of previous one. Recently I told you about things that have an impact on your gaming performance. Today I will develop the first point from the previous video, namely sleep. Let's start with what sleep actually is, the functional state of the central nervous system, cyclically appearing and transient in circadian rhythm, during which there is an abolition of consciousness and immobility. Why is sleep so important? During sleep, the activity of some neurons in our body ceases. This prevents them from changing their sensitivity. If they were stimulated all the time as during the day, the greater stimulus would be needed to activate them, because our body would get used to it. Another thing that happens during sleep and relates to our nervous system is the stimulation of neurons that weren't used while awake. Long-term disuse could result in disappearance of some of them. When we sleep, our memory is also consolidated, i.e., things that happen to us are saved in our memory. Similarly with the things we learn during the day. That is why it's much better to study for a test by dividing the material into several days. Additionally, it's worth mentioning the hormonal economy and energy saving during sleep. In a word, it can be summed up as regeneration. We already know why sleep is so important, but what will happen if we choose not to sleep? Well, I don't think there is something to dwell on. After a dozen or so hours without sleep, our reaction time is significantly longer. We are unable to focus, we don't want to do anything, and we irritate easier. Prolonged lack of sleep will exacerbate this effect, and additionally, hallucinations may begin to appear, the light will start to irritate us, and our immune system will weaken. As a consequence, we will be more exposed to all pathogens and cancers. We already know the effects of lack of sleep, so it would be worthwhile to say a little how much we should sleep and how to improve the quality of our sleep, to make it as good as possible. Let's start with the best amount of sleep. The values are different for different age groups. The older a person is, the less sleep he needs. In this video, I will talk about the values for people who can watch this channel. For people aged 6-13 years, the recommended length of sleep is between 9 and 11 hours. For teenagers aged 14-17, it's a value between 8 and 10 hours, and for adults under 65 years old, 7 to 9 hours. If anyone is interested, such information can be easily found on the internet. So let's take a 20 years old as an example. Suppose his name is Mike, and he is a CSGO player who strives for professionalism. Our hero decided to use the vacations in 100%, so he decided to sleep well. That way, he finished playing at 5 am and went to bed. He woke up after 8 hours, at 1 pm. Was Mike's sleep valuable? Not really. Why? Here we have to look at the mechanisms that regulate our sleep. There are hormones that regulate the human circadian cycle. The problem is that during the years of evolution, there was no electricity, so people went to sleep when it got dark and woke up when it was light, and our organisms are adapted to this rhythm. For this reason, even dim light can reduce the secretion of melatonin and other hormones that regulate the human circadian cycle. How to prevent it? Of course, it's the best to sleep at night, but if it's not possible, it would be good to buy light-tight blinds, so that you can sleep in a completely dark room. In addition, it's good to stop using the computer or other screen devices for a few hours before going to bed, because blue light has the biggest impact. Of course, this is a tutorial primarily intended for gamers, and I know you can just turn off your computer for hours before going to bed. Almost every team starts training in the afternoon and ends it in the late evening. This is the only way to reconcile it with school or work. However, it is worth trying to turn off all monitors after the game and the rest things that we have to do, such as the toilet, dinner, etc., do with the red light. This one has the least impact on our sleep. We have already discussed the issue of light. Now it's the time for other factors. Our sleep is greatly influenced by neuropeptide hypocretin, also known as orexin. It is made up of a group of cells found in the hypothalamus and the brain stem. The easiest way to say is that based on information such as our emotions or hunger, it tells our body whether we are safe and whether we can go sleep now. Probably as a kid, or even now, everyone had such a situation that he chucked and couldn't sleep because of it. It is orexin that, through interactions with the system that regulates emotions, sends out to our brain that we cannot sleep now because something may happen to us. The same thing happens when we are hungry. That is why it's better to fall asleep after a meal. And I don't mean binge eating for the night, but eating the light supper. Looks like this is how we got to the end of this video. Of course, I could say something about the sleep cycles or discuss the previous issues in more details. But I think that for a person who just wants to ensure better quality of sleep, such a portion of knowledge is enough. And if someone wants to learn more, it's not a problem to find additional information. That's it. If you enjoyed this video, I encourage you to leave a like and check my social media. Goodbye.